This video is brought to you by StarCharge, the largest EV charging manufacturer in the world. They are also a provider of residential and commercial battery storage with microgrid solutions. This video is also brought to you by Kempower, the reliable, quick, and scalable EV charging solution for everyone and everywhere. Hello and welcome to another Out of Spec Reviews video. You join me in the Tesla Model X Plaid owned by my dad. Out of Spec Dave. He has his own YouTube channel if you're not familiar, and this is his car. This is his 2023 brand new Tesla Model X Plaid tri-motor crazy thing. He's got it with ultra red white seats, 6-seat configuration, and the aero wheels. And we are running a 10% challenge on this car today. A 10% challenge is to simulate the road tripping capability of an electric car. We've already tested the full charge range on this Model X Plaid, and I think Jordan got 280 something miles at 70 miles an hour. A little bit less than I was expecting, actually. And then we have already tested the Plaid's battery pack 0 to 100% charging curve. However, I am going to retest it on this one. Those are the extreme cases of electric vehicle usage. What I want to find out is how electric cars perform in a road tripping charger to charger scenario, and that's what the 10% challenge is all about. I'll walk you through the testing procedures. We'll benchmark this against the other electric vehicles that we've tested, and I'm expecting a pretty damn good result today from this one, because it's all about balancing charging speed, highway efficiency, and of course we are driving 80 miles an hour in this test, which is much more realistic than the 70 mile per hour outright range test that we do for every EV that we test. So it's a perfect day, 65 degrees and sunny and very little wind. We've been waiting for this day, so it's time to log the 10% challenge on the Model X Plaid. Well, we are getting the vehicle set up for all of the testing procedures, and the only thing that's a little bit odd, and it shouldn't make much of a difference, maybe it's not odd. Alyssa, you're with me today.
Hello.
We happen to be out and about, and we're like, oh, we can't miss this opportunity for a 10% challenge. Now, another person in the vehicle will affect the results. There's no way around it. But on a full charge, I actually met with some of the Porsche simulation engineers and asked them, like, how much does an extra person affect the outright range of an electric car? And they said it's about, on a 300 mile range car, which is, it's about 2.5 miles, 3 miles plus or minus. So for a test like this, not enough to show up in the results. So I think we're okay that Alyssa's in the car. This is also not the most hardcore scientific test that we do with electric vehicles. This is all about simulating a range test in the real world. So what we're doing is I'm at 12% state of charge. I've been navigating to the supercharger. The battery's warm enough where it hasn't preconditioned, or at least it hasn't told me it's preconditioned, but that's fine. It means that we're at a good temperature range to receive the maximum charging capabilities of 250 kilowatts from this version 3 Tesla supercharger. And what we're gonna do is we're at 12%. We're gonna just drive it around till we're at the low end of 11. We'll park it into the supercharger spot, run the heater, pull it down to 10. As soon as it dips from 11 to 10%, we're gonna plug the car in with climate control on, like you would at a charging stop on your road trip, and we're gonna charge it for exactly 15 minutes. Once the vehicle's charged for 15 minutes, which is about as long as I like to take at a charging station, we're gonna jump right on this highway right over here, set the autopilot system to 80 miles an hour, and then see how far we go in a loop style test until we dip back down to 10%. It's my favorite test that we do because this is what I care about with an electric car. Ultimately, it's all about efficiency, range, and charging performance in one test, bringing it all together. And the cars that do the best in this test are the ones that you want to do the most long distance trips in. And I think this is going to significantly outperform the Model Y. That is just my guess, but time will tell. If you look straight ahead, that is the Tesla supercharger at the Come and Go, which sadly will be renamed to Maverick. We got another 2% to burn. I'll just drive around a little bit and re-navigate to the supercharger so that if battery needs any preconditioning, it will do it. I'm gonna try not to have an accident with an Acura. And here's the ChargePoint CPE 250 charger. All right, let's go do this thing. This is where we did the first ever 10% challenge. This is where we run all the Teslas. Ryan's done testing here. I've done Teslas here. I think the first time we did it was with a Model Y long range, actually. We still have a lot more cars we need to test in the 10% challenge, so bear with us as we've been waiting for good weather to run them all through. And man, this is perfection when it comes to conditions. The time, what are you looking at there, Alyssa?
I was giving them the temperature.
Ah, time and temperature.
Yeah, time, temperature, the skies, what that looks like. It's beautiful out, gorgeous day out in the middle of nowhere. Wind is optimal.
I don't want to superheat it, but we are at 11%. That was a giant bump. And we're going to go neutral, brakes as we pull in here so we don't regen the battery. Hold on tight, everyone. This is not as easy as doing it with the stocks. That's really the main thing I miss the stocks for, is all the neutral, you know, to burn the battery down.
Oh, that was chaotic.
Oh no, I can already hear creaking from the front on this car, by the way.
Which we got fixed as soon as it got here.
Yeah, we've already had them fix it once. Build quality Tesla, come on.
Plaids especially.
Yeah, both this Plaid and my Plaid make a lot of weird vibrations, rattles, annoying stuff.
Spend more money, you get more rattles.
That's what it seems like you get with Tesla. Well, we have arrived. Alyssa's going in to get just a couple snacks and throwing out some trash. Here's the Model X, full range spec, at least when it comes to Plaid. Plaid and long range are only a couple miles apart in the EPA cycle. They pretty much use the same battery, but different motors is my understanding. I have to confirm the battery portion, but I think it is the same battery, Plaid and long range, or whatever they call the all-wheel drive ones now. I am ripping the heater at full blast at the moment, and that is just to, you know, drain it from 11% to 10. I've got the lights on, so as soon as it dips to 10, we're gonna plug it in. We'll count the handshake time, usually only a couple seconds with Tesla, and then we're gonna let it charge for 15 minutes. I am noticing a little burst of wind at the moment. However, on the Windy app that I use, it shows no wind. We're hitting the, we're at 11.2%. We are hitting the wind gap perfectly, which is great. We'll keep it here on the charging portion so we can keep an eye on the charging performance. Battery pack is at the perfect state of charge window. So loving that. And as soon as we dip down to 10%, let's plug this sucker in. All right, folks, well, it just dipped from 11 to 10%. I've shut off all the loads while we go and plug it in. We're at 10.4%. That's when it indicated 10% to the user. We always go by user displayed state of charge. Let's plug this thing in and we'll count the handshake time. So we'll grab the version 3 supercharger handle. Again, this is the most amount of power this vehicle can take is from this type of charging station. Station is not limited, only one other car here and they've been here forever, so they're not pulling much power, so we should be good to go. In we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I don't even know. Okay, about 6-second handshake, something like that. I need to raise our charging limit and here we are charging. Dang, so we need a 15-minute timer. So Alyssa, could you set a 15-minute timer? And I think we're about 20 seconds in or so. So there we go, we got that going, nice. Normally I'm not doing this with Tesla and the chargers actually give you the 15-minute timer, but we'll get it right on the money. And up to 160 kilowatts right now. Sometimes with Model S and X, I noticed they kind of sit around 150, 160 kilowatts. And then start ramping up from there. Pretty high voltage pack, 400 volts here at 12%. This is charging voltage, but still very nice to see Tesla going quite high voltage. And yeah, I can hear the heat pump ripping at the moment. So it's spinning up. We do actually need to put on climate control for this test. So we're gonna run 70 degrees on auto. I have to turn off just some ancillary loads that I left on from the trying to drain the battery. So we should have all ancillary loads off. We will keep climate going and we are good to go. It's at 174 kilowatts now and ramping. Again, they always go through a short period of time where they go slow and then rip up to 250 kilowatts. They don't just shoot right up there. And it's just maybe some of the new software stuff. I noticed my Plaid does the same thing, up to 195 kilowatts now. We've put in 3 kilowatt hours in just about a minute and a half or so, which is pretty dang good. Up to 500 amps, still ripping, 230 kilowatts coming past now, and coming up here to the full 250. And keep in mind, this will show what's coming into the plug, not what's coming into the battery pack. So it is going to overcompensate. Like you can see there, 254 kilowatts. That's compensating for our HVAC load. It still is only about 250 kilowatts going into the battery pack. And I do have a Scan My Tesla slash sexy buttons thing installed in here, but I didn't bring my phone to monitor it, but it's no big deal. We have all the cool service menus in this for this test, so no problem. We're going to end the supercharger navigation and basically sit here for the next 13 minutes until it's time to unplug and jump on the highway and see how far we can go. By the way, I have already set tire pressures, if you're curious. So they are set to 45 PSI when cold. I think they're up to 46 right now because we drove over here. They generated some heat. That's great. That's what they're supposed to do. So all is good. And we're just sitting at 250 kilowatts. Jamming in some juice. That's what we like to see. So a nice thing that Tesla does that not every vehicle does, I know the new Taycan does it because I was just playing around with that car, is it will compensate from the charger for extra power needed to run HVAC and other loads. So while technically the battery is only getting 250 kilowatts, we're getting 254 into the port, which is great. Also, this Model X does this sometimes where the screen just goes black while charging. It happens mostly whenever I supercharge for that exact amount of time. So it's a weird software bug where that just shuts off and comes back. I don't have to touch the brake or anything like that. It just dies. Little bugs, little bugs. But I do like how they compensate from the charger when the charger can, so that your HVAC isn't slowing down your charging session. Pretty good stuff. So we have reached 250 kilowatts now. That seems to be kind of ramping down a little bit. Just gonna shut the door for noise. And but still maybe not ramping down. I think this holds 250 kilowatts to 35 or 36%, if I remember correctly. The pin temperature is still okay. By the way, the US cars don't make a distinction between AC and DC pin temperatures, only the Euro cars, because they use CCS. But here we use J3400 NACS. But yeah, the cooling's all off. It's just very happily drinking the juice at 250 kilowatts, up to 30% now. This is what I love about this car. It's like from, 10 to 36%, this thing just boogies all the way up. I do wish it had a fatter charging curve though. I mean, Porsche is wiping the game, changing the game with the new Taycan's battery pack curve. It's just insane. So hopefully Tesla can improve charging performance, especially on Cybertruck and Model Y 4680. Those seem pretty bad. And here we are at 33%. We've come off the full 250 kilowatts, but still doing 240, which is pretty good. It will start to walk its way down from this point or so. And yeah, all is good. I think we're within, 1 or 2% of expected. So this is probably the ideal charging performance given the conditions. No one else is at this supercharger right now. It's just us. We are roughly halfway through our charging session and we've just tapered to 200 kilowatts. I did check the cable temperature, by the way. It's really feeling nice to the hand. 7 minutes. What does it say, Alyssa? 7 minutes and 7 seconds remaining. Temperatures are looking good. Battery pack hits its max temp around 64 degrees, and it has started the fans, but it has not started the chilling process for the battery pack. I don't hear the AC compressor ripping. I just hear the fans circulating ambient air through the radiator. But this is all expected, looking good, 190 kilowatts at 41%. And man, we still have another 7 minutes to go. We have now tapered down to 150 kilowatts at around 50% state of charge. That is how I know things are going well. That is what I very often see in my Plaid and this Plaid when we start from, around 10% or less at 50%. So this is a good, ideal charging session. 3 minutes and 41 seconds remaining. We have to unplug the Model X when we get down to 18 seconds, since we started the timer 18 seconds after the start of charging, and we are not here to give anyone a unfair advantage. But perfect day. The wind is gone pretty much. Feeling nice. Model X is looking good. Tire pressures are good. We got some snacks. And how far do you think this is going to go? 100 miles in this test is what we consider to be a great road tripping car. Some of the best cars, Lucid, Taycan, they're in that high 140, 150 range. Where do you think this is going to come in?
126.
126?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you're always pretty accurate with these things.
What did the Y come in at?
Y did just about 100 miles, I think 99. And this should do just a bit better because it holds peak power a little bit longer. And I actually think it's pretty comparable efficiency, actually. But yeah, nice weather, good conditions. Everything will be warmed up for this test.
Nice and toasty, like a good toasty day.
Yeah, toasty day. I'm really excited for this one. It's now indicating almost 70 degrees outside. It's the middle of February in Colorado.
Wait till March.
Yeah, wait, what's going on here? 2 seconds left. We've put in 45 kilowatt hours, 18 seconds. Stop the clock. Alyssa's shutting off climate control so we don't burn anything while we get set up. But that was pretty good. What does it say for, yeah, Brighton, last paid charging session, $0 because my dad has referral points, but it doesn't show, yeah, it showed 45 kilowatt hours, but I think it was the high side of 45, don't you think?
Yeah.
Because it was sitting there for a little while. So I would say 46 kilowatt hours.
Okay.
45.5.
45.6.
Yeah, we can make it up. Anyway, what we need to do now is take the Model X out of service mode. Battery pack is warmed up. We are going to run up this road. Oh, how did that turn back on? Climb it off. We're going to run up here till we get about, I don't know, halfway or so. Turn around. When it starts suggesting, we'll come back here around 10%. We will keep it. Of course, when we dip down from 11 to 10 at 80 miles an hour, we will then log the distance. And that's how we know how good of a road tripper this car is. Alyssa thinks 126 miles. I have to agree. I think it's going to be, you know, one somewhere around there.
Reset any trip?
Yep, we absolutely need to get the car set up. So first thing we have to do is we're going to go to suspension and we're going to put it in very low. We're going to put it in chill mode, steering and comfort, all that good stuff. This doesn't actually make much of a difference, but why not? Let's turn the car on, very low, comfort suspension we'll use, sure. But we want it slammed out for full range. We're going to run 70 degrees on auto, low, and we have the rear fan off. It's just both of us in the car, so we're good. The other thing I'm going to do here is go to trips, and we're going to reset this one, and we're good to go. 6,700 miles on the odometer, and we are pulling off. Let's go jump on the highway and see how this thing does. Squeezing through now, and let's merge onto the highway. Gentle accelerations, no traffic out on the roads today, which is great. So we can get up to 80 miles per hour. I'll make sure that that is GPS accurate. And we may have to run 81. I think in the range test Jordan did, he had to run 71. We'll double check everything and make sure that that's all accurate. And yeah, it definitely doesn't ride great when you air the suspension all the way down, but we are here for max range, how we'd use it on a road trip, essentially. So just scooching around the world's slowest traffic. This is testing we need to get up to speed for. Let's get it up to 80 miles an hour. That's the end of the on-ramp. 79, 80, locked in. I have it at 81, which I believe is GPS accurate. I'm going to check that right now, and we're going to cruise. When we get about halfway, we will then re-navigate to the station so that if the car does need to precondition, it can precondition it back to the charger. We do include preconditioning, which is why weather is kind of a big factor here. But we do include preconditioning on this test just to keep it more fair and real world, I would say. So we're off, we're cruising. And you can see here, we are running 80 miles per hour GPS, which is indicated 81 on the display. So all is good. We'll be here for, I imagine, an hour and a bit, something like that. Probably a little bit more. This is real American road tripping though. Charge it up, 15 minutes, quick splash and dash, pop back on the highway, rip to the next one. How far can you go? I love this test. We are just cruising along. I'm only in the left lane because that lane is super grooved and noisy over there. So once that ends, we'll move back over. But cruising along, no issues here. Car's performing great, very efficient so far. I think we have already surpassed our Toyota BZ4X number, 42, 43 miles, I think is what that one did. 351 watt-hour per mile at 80. Wow, good conditions. Really shows you how weather can play a huge role in these tests. And, you know, no matter the conditions, I'm always trying to show the cars at their best when we have them. So I'm really glad I waited to run this test till today, because the last 2 months that we've had this car, it's been terrible weather. So I think we're going to get a real nice result out of the Model X today for sure. But sometimes we just can't control it. Look, Rivian vans, but not badged as Amazon ones. That's cool.
Coming to a channel soon to you.
Oh, Not really, but wouldn't it be cool to get one of those?
Yeah, that would be the ultimate hauler. Dog hauler, kid hauler, whatever the heck you want to haul.
Yeah.
That would be it.
That would be it. We are getting close to our turnaround point. If you look up ahead, we are just coming into Fort Morgan, and so far we have traveled 56 miles. So this is certainly going to go farther than the Model Y, is my understanding, or my guesstimate. Shows a 7% arrival back to right next to the supercharger. Again, I didn't want to have it preconditioning, although it's so nice out, I don't think it's going to. A nice Tesla coming up alongside there. EV lifestyle. We are going to now navigate to the Brighton supercharger as we come around quite a sharp corner.
It's a big loop-de-loop.
This is awesome. This is where I need like a hydraulic e-brake so we can drift it, but that would not be for testing procedures. It does show a 10% arrival back to the charger, which means we may actually do, we may go one exit past, because again, we want to keep doing 80 miles an hour when we dip from 11 to 10. But yeah, let's get back up to speed. We'll get back up to 80 and head the other way. With the supercharger programmed in as per testing procedures. We always run climate control between 68 and 72 on the most eco-friendly setting, which we have it at. I don't think I mentioned that in this video. Alyssa, we've had some snacks. What have we been eating?
We got, most importantly, some waters. Got to stay hydrated in this Colorado weather. And got a little snack pack with pepperonis and some cheese and some crackers. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I didn't grab your Doritos, and I apologize.
No Doritos. That's what Out of Spec runs on. Wow, this is an awesome on-ramp. And we'll get up to 80 miles an hour by the end of the on-ramp, so we got to actually hit the pedal a little bit. You got to be gentle as much as you can. You don't want to burn any office heat loss here. So we're already at 70 almost. Okay, come on. We got to get up to 80. We'll lock it in here. 77. Jeep is going so slow. How did we merge on just when there was traffic? 78, 79, 80, 81. Autopilot set, and they are out of the way. We've seen like no cars this trip. It's been wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, when you go out in the middle of Bum, you don't really have much out here.
Yeah, there's really not much going on.
Murdoch, Ranch Supply,
yeah,
Safeway.
Murdoch's is great.
Yeah, Murdoch's is. We just got a Murdoch's.
City.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. But out here, there is nothing.
Nothing.
Until we hit the supercharger. It looks just like that.
Like Kansas. Flat. Everybody always thinks, oh, Colorado is so mountainous. Flat.
So the mountains are over there.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are. You just can't see them in view.
No, they're over there.
Oh, they're straight ahead. Yeah.
Good try.
I don't know. We are heading.
Never eat soggy waffles? No?
They're that way.
Yeah. They're west.
Yeah, my sense of direction's never good. I'm always missing exits and stuff.
Even though the mountains here are literally right beside you all the time. But that's okay. We'll work on that.
I know the mountains are west.
Yep. And yeah, so now we're predicted to 11% arrival.
So we'll have to go past it one exit.
Yeah. And now we'll keep on trailing.
It's going to be a good result.
Going to be a great one.
Beautiful views here as we cruise along. Alyssa, maybe you can zoom into the mountains over there, which are now, I've detected the correct location for them. Yeah.
Good job.
Nice.
Good job. Navigator Connor over here.
Yeah, well, Model X is a great road tripper, even with the suspension in lowest. You know, once you get out of the big bumps and you're on smooth pavement, pretty nice, much quieter than Model Y.
Yeah, I would agree.
It's like, okay, so I don't actually really like the Model X.
I actually loathe it.
Yeah, and you don't like it either. And we have a Model S, which I love the Model S. Much prefer that. Just something about that car feels right, feels better. We're always fighting the stupid doors in this thing, and I don't know, something about it just doesn't suit me personally. I can review it for someone looking for an SUV or someone like my dad. This is the correct choice, but for us, it's not. However, I start to really love the X when I'm on a long trip. I drove this thing from Texas to Vegas and back, and you were with me on the return. It has great sound system, great thermal management. Honestly, very good at the road tripping stuff. It's comfortable, there's room. It's like if I had to do a lot of driving, I think maybe this is what I would choose, even over the S.
Oh, really?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I do like my S, but this just, there's room to breathe in this thing. And you get this crazy windshield, like when you're going through the mountains, it's just unbelievable looking up the canyons. So yeah, the X isn't for me personally. I'm glad I bought an S instead of the X. But I'm glad my dad had this so we can enjoy it.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's been definitely a car to enjoy, but it's just not something I want. I mean, anytime it's in the driveway, I never choose to take it. It's not something I choose.
Same. We never drive this around town because it's honestly, I think it's the doors more than anything.
It's the doors that you're fighting against them, even though they had that software update. I don't know what it really did. In my opinion, it didn't do much.
The problem is Tesla removed all the ultrasonic sensors on the new X. And this is a hardware 4-car and all that stuff. And so the doors only pop open. They don't open up for you.
Right.
And sometimes they'll auto-present, but they don't have enough force to close themselves. So we had to shut off automatic door approach because they get stuck open and then the car runs.
You're just always fighting the doors, and it's something, anytime you're getting in and out, you have to think about, oh, well, am I going to reach in and hit this button here, or am I going to fight the motors and try to slam the door or whatever it is? And I already have a good record of slamming doors, and coming in and out of this makes me slam doors even harder because I'm used to the pressure.
The Falcon Wings should be monitored, and they do have ultrasonics on the Falcon Wings, but that door smashed into a Mazda in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
It didn't leave any damage, but it just went right into the car next to us. I was like, what? How is that possible?
Yeah, it's just a no for me.
And in the wintertime, you like precondition the Model X, right? You warm it up, get everything nice and toasty, and then you have someone in the back and the whole side of the car opens up. You lose all your heat. I don't know. But for the long trips, Model X is great.
Yeah. just
as a
like
daily driver, it's annoying.
Yeah, definitely. So, yep, that's our little bit.
That's our review.
That's our review. That's it. All right, we're ending us. Just kidding. We are arrival
26% state of charge.
Oh, we're at 26. Yeah, and arrival's around 14%.
So we're gonna have to go past it. We'll have to come down this way.
Oh boy.
Yep, should be all right.
Sounds good.
Viewers, we are back to where we started. This is the come and go where we started, I don't know, 1 hour ago, something like that. However, we still have 13%, so we need another 3% to burn. So I just felt it didn't phantom brake, but it just slowed down because I thought we were going to take the exit. So now we're just going to keep it at 80 miles an hour until we reach from 11 to 10%. And yeah, it does get a little bit more dense here, but I think we should be able to keep the speeds up. I'll let you know what the final result is, but at least coming here, 364 watt-hour per mile is amazing. 114 miles so far. Another 2% left to go till we dip down. This is Alyssa, I don't think it's going to do 126 like you thought, but it's still a very good result here. This is awesome. Well, guys, this is it. Any moment now, we're about to dip from 11% down to 10%. We are getting a bit of dense traffic, but we haven't had to come off 80 miles an hour yet. You can see it's cruising along. This guy in the Dodge is just inching away. We're at 118 miles at the moment. Will it get to 120? I don't know, but time will tell here. 11%. As soon as it dips to 10, that's where we log the distance. However, I have to say, fairly efficient. 363 watt-hour per mile at 80. I have to look to see what Jordan did at 70 miles an hour in his range test, but it was a little bit colder temperatures. Here we've ranged from 63 to 69 degrees Fahrenheit. So I have to push the car a little bit here because they're just slowing down. We're still at 80, maintaining. It's like on the uphills, he just slowed. He's probably on cruise control, but it just takes a second to compensate. 119 miles now, Alyssa. 119, is it gonna, it might do 120. It might do 120. Come on, Model X. That would be so freaking epic. So just so our viewers know, 70 miles in this test is like minimum acceptability for a road trip. For me, that's like similar to what the e-tron does and some other okay road trippers. Good curves, but inefficient cars. 100 miles is excellent. That's Model 3, Model Y, they're in that, you know, category. And then anything above 100 miles is like you're gonna have a great road tripping experience with that vehicle. So will this guy move out of the way? Yes. 79. This is the first time we've come off 80 miles an hour this whole test. But we're still good. We're back up to 80 now. Yeah, so this doing 120 miles is not far off of Taycan doing oh, there we go, 120 miles, 10%. That's the number. It's 20 miles less, 25 miles less than Taycan, a little bit more than that off of a Lucid Air. But that is a great result, Alyssa, don't you think?
Very good, very good.
Very good, okay.
Oh, it just ticked to 121, so.
Yeah, but it's still
a little bit over.
No, it's still 120.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's when it dips from 11 to 10 is when we log it. So now we need to figure out what's the best way to get home, but we'll figure that out. So thank you guys for watching this Out of Spec Reviews video. Model X is a great road tripper. I'll leave all of the data on our website, outofspecstudios.com. You can hit the 10% challenge button and see how this stacks up against other cars we've tested in this procedure. And then you can compare, you know, the different strategies. Some cars have a lot of range. Some cars with a lot of range don't charge that fast, and they don't do that well in this test. This really is a test of showing great charging performance and great range. And I would say for in this case, 6-passenger, but you can get a 7-passenger SUV that can also tow 120 miles. Considering the charging curve isn't amazing on this car, really good. But honestly, if Tesla just put a little bit more effort into charging, they could make this a monster. Imagine this thing with the Taycan charging curve. Wow, can't wait to run the new Macan and the new Taycan in this test, because I think both of those are built for fast traveling, which is what this test is meant to show. And I think they're just going to wipe the floor. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in another one again soon. 120 miles in the Model X. Bye-bye.